Amidst the qualms facing HTC regarding the state of their business affairs, they brought to us their best effort in the smartphone market for 2013 and renamed it simply the One. Unlike the S4, HTC has been praised for an evolutionary leap with this flagship from previous flagships, and I can honestly say the experience is something to behold. The One is super sleek, contoured, glossy, chamfered and matte. It involves a diverse range of elements that cohesively meld to form easily my favourite built phone I have ever held. It is aluminium and glass with just a hint of plastic along the edges, but that element is well masked as the sides have no pronunciation from the chamfered edges, and as your fingers work around the device, nothing glaringly jumps out and obstructs the cleanness. The front face goes two-tone with a silky deep black Gorilla Glass 2 protecting and tipped either side with the front-facing twin stereo speakers. The look on the silver model is almost retro in that the speaker grille is so pronounced. The bottom of the front face has only a capacitive back button left and home button right. This does take some getting used to as I regularly hit the HTC logo in use, and this is where I commonly would find the home button on other devices. The top has the front-facing camera on the right with ambient light and proximity sensors left of the speaker. The notification light is sneakily hidden within this speaker grille. The base of the device has the micro USB charging port next to the microphone embedded within the plastic edge tapering thicker towards the rear edge, which gives a nice grip to the phone. The right hand side has the volume rocker and stands out because of its concentric circular pattern that defines an upper and lower section. The left hand side has only the drawer for the SIM card. If you haven't gathered by now, the One is unibody in its design. The top edge has the headphone jack and the unlock button in black, but this is because it also acts as the One's IR blaster. The rear panel is a full aluminium plate with the rear facing camera central and LED flash to the left. Two white bands break the panel's look into more of a reflection of the front face, and another microphone is embedded in the top band to eliminate background noise and calls. The phone holds beautifully in hand with gentle contours across the rear face. It feels seductive and stronger than most. I didn't find it to mark terribly in my time, and I loved having the One in hand at all times. It comes in fairly thin at 9.3mm, and at 143 grams it doesn't win awards there, but I couldn't care less. The One is a beautifully and thoughtfully made phone. One thing that is to be anticipated is that performance should be a beast, and it is. While on paper mildly defeated by the S4, and I mean mildly, in use couldn't spot a difference. Load times were zippy, animations fast and clean, and not a stagger in sight. The Qualcomm Snapdragon 600 quad-core 1.7GHz CPU kicked winners, and was helped along by the 2 gigs of DDR2 RAM. The Adreno 320 GPU is consistently an excellent performer with gaming. All the usual suspects are here as well: Bluetooth 4.0, NFC, DLNA, Miracast, micro USB with OTG, choice of 32 or 64 gigs, and LTE. Even with the aluminium chassis, I regularly got perfect signal strength, and call quality with the included speakers is boss. One small issue was Wi-Fi, where I noted regular load time issues when web browsing, and on speed test, I seemed to be getting an irregular signal that was not evident on my other devices. Whether this is an issue plaguing only my unit, or it's something to be attacked in a software update down the line, I can't say. What I can say though is the device is an all-day phone for sure. Battery saving options work fantastically to blow out the standby time, and in continuous HD video playback, it lasted 6.5 hours on the 2300 mAh battery. The One also boasts a 1080p display. Across its 4.7-inch Super LCD 3 panel, sharpness was perfect at 468 ppi pixel density. Colours were very true and natural, and white supreme. I found viewing angles to be slightly less than the S4, but certainly not the worst in the top tier this year, with the Xperia Z taking that crown. The accuracy of touch, I might say, I found to be a little sloppy when typing. I recalibrated and still found I struggled by comparison to the S4 or even the Xperia SP that I had recently. Fortunately, the precision of the auto correction and text prediction was spot on. Now the OS is where I must spend due time. HTC overhauled in fantastic fashion, crafting a UI that, while Android 4.1.2 currently for me, looks so different in many ways, and I love it. Custom overlays are an important feature of smartphones. If a company can nail it, and they rarely do, it can provide the user with desirable software inclusions and features that are unique to raw Android. Sense 5 is a perfect example of nailing it. If it was a custom ROM already, I probably would have installed it on my Android devices. The lock screen can offer a few different options for what is displayed. It gives access to a number of lock screen themes, the quick launch bar, and all is unlocked with a swipe upward to go in. The first page you are greeted with is the new HTC Blink feed, a social media aggregator, vertically orientated and hosts the ability to post directly from here to Facebook or Twitter. It achieves what it set out to do. I never actually found myself wanting to use it, but I mean as a source of picking highlights and displaying them in a visually appealing medium, it may be useful to you. Annoyingly, this page cannot be deleted, but you can set another page as the home page, and what I found myself doing. The other home pages can be customized easily and function as normal, scrolling left to right, but not circularly. The app drawer has seen a considerable coat of paint as well. It is black with a light glow at the top, which helps direct the navigation, as unlike stock Android, it is vertically orientated as well. I really like the layout. The simple 3x4 choice makes it quite easy to find apps, and this can be blown out to 4x5, which is a little bit more clustered. In 3x4, I found myself using the app drawer a lot more than I would normally, and using my home pages only for very specific widgets and quick launches. The notification bar is very clean, black and white and easy to use, but no quick settings. The settings are rich and a contrasting white overlay. The level of customization is definitely there, but not to the same level as Samsung or LG, but enough considering I love the Sense UI out of the box. The lack of a menu button can be a pest, and thankfully that is to be fixed with a shortcut press option on the home button, because I hate losing display space to a bar with just the menu button. A big change is seen with the multitasking panel, where active panes are displayed as a group on screen, far more refined and less animated as previous Sense UI attempts. The icon choices have all had a fix up too, and they are very refined, display great continuity to the design and theme of the OS, and really complete the package. All the included applications have been adjusted away from stock by giving a contrast, color theme and layout. The black, grey, white with blue accents is very sleek and appealing, reminds me a little bit of the BlackBerry 10 OS, and I love that one too. I appreciate that HTC has kept the OS feeling very united in its approach. Apps feel integrated while maintaining a familiar Android use. Important app inclusions start with the TV app. It gives you control of the IR blaster and use of your TV and set-top boxes. It also includes the TV guide that you can select the programs you love so that you'll get reminders pop through in Blink Feed. The gallery looks and operates a little bit like Blink Feed as well, but you can have a living, breathing collection of content. If you view the collection by event, it intelligently knows the photos that were taken at, say, a trip to the park based on the period of time that each photo was taken, and then at the top of the gallery it gives a video highlight that it creates itself. I love the video highlights that were put to music. It's a great way to share a fun family outing with all. Car gives a large size UI to use and operate when mounted in your vehicle. Its use and functions were thorough and appreciated when on long hauls. Notes is also a perfect little note-taking tool and is completely integrated in with the calendar and EndNote, which means it's a versatile working space. As a media device, the HTC One beats all. I preferred watching movies on this device, and at times I made excuses just to do so. Besides the beautiful panel, the audio from the twin stereo speakers as they bounce from one to the other boomed with great rich bass and louder than any that came before, was the best media experience I could have ever asked from a mobile device. Beats Audio enhances the quality brilliantly, but honestly, the speakers alone sell this device. It amazed everyone I showed. But HTC, like Apple, wants you to buy their media sharing box to allow the screen sharing and streaming of movie content. This bugs me a lot because it was built straight into the S4. Now, the other big inclusion that HTC plugged relentlessly was its ultra pixel camera. It is an f2.0 28mm lens that, with the large sensor size and low 4 megapixel camera, is supposed to allow 300% more light than conventional smartphone cameras. In use, it achieves this. Shadow areas generally had details pulled out that I would have normally expected to be too dark, but this did compromise light areas that often flared. HDR mode did fix this issue somewhat, but in most cases I was sufficiently happy just straight out of the camera. The issue here is resolution. On a display of this size, 4 megapixels is fine, but moved to a larger monitor, the low megapixel camera is noticeable. The UI is very simple to use. A menu button gives access to settings with drop-down style functionality. The sweep panorama worked great with a horizontal bar to guide your direction and balance. Video can be captured in slow motion, fast 60 frames per second, or with high dynamic range, and a selection of filter modes to shoot in make it a breeze to give you added control over what your final image will look like. The new key shooting mode here is HTC Zoe, which are 3-second videos comprised of 20 still shots, effectively burst mode. If you shoot a whole day using Zoe's, it makes for really interesting video highlights. It also gives added edit options where you can create easily a sequence shot or remove an unwanted moving object from a scene. Samsung puts these modes at the front of the UI, and in a lot of cases I think people won't realize they even exist within the HTC One. But if you do, they work just as well. The front-facing 2.1 megapixel camera is brilliant for video chat, particularly as it's wide angle with an excellent 88-degree viewing angle to fit in a crowd and capable of HDR shots. I've said it once and I'll say it again, in terms of design evolution, HTC is killing it. The One is a genius smartphone and the new Sense UI is gorgeous. My issues with the Wi-Fi signal and unwillingness to purchase the HTC Link make me hesitant when I consider it over the S4, but I think I still would, because as a package, the One is the device everyone wished for. It expands brilliantly on expectations, and as a brand, I am glad that they aren't complacent in their year-to-year approach. Grab one from mobicity.com and be proud of your new smartphone as I was when I was sporting the HTC One. I'm Kurt, this is KABOOtech. See you all next time.